going on, everybody? Welcome to the Backpacking Podcast. We haven't done a live stream in a while, Jeremiah. It's been a minute. How are you doing, man? John Kelly here, as always, with Jeremiah Stringer. Jeremiah, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I got my morning cup of coffee. Good morning to all you people on the West Coast, where it's 6:30 a.m. right now. Hopefully,
getting to start your day off with us.
Yes, I'm just getting up myself, even though it's 9:30 here, and hopefully I make it through this podcast without having to poop, because this is my first cup of coffee.
Well, you are living your best life. You've got that teacher life going on right now, so.
Oh, it's nice, man. I got one more month left.
Oh, man, I got one more month left of having to pay for childcare for my daughter. She starts kindergarten. I don't have to pay for childcare anymore.
Oh, just
man.
Texas, a little bit of free education and daycare.
Bro, that's like $600 or $700 a month getting freed up in my bank account.
Daddy's gonna need a new car.
Well, Daddy needs to pay off some debt. You're drinking coffee. I am drinking Mountain Dew Spark. I don't know if you can see this. It's a raspberry lemonade.
Oh, goodness. Mountain Dew?
It's really good. I mean, it's totally inappropriate for mornings, but I'm doing it anyways. So
we'll say good morning to Trey and to Josh.
Yeah, both leaving comments on here. So Jeremiah, I have to tell you what happened on every year for 4th of July. I go on a hike every single year, and this year I decided I was going to go on just a short hike, like 6 miles total. But me and my buddy Sean went out, and I convinced him to come out and be my camera guy to do some B-roll for a video. What's up, Josue? Or Jose? That's Jose there. Okay. But yeah, so we went out to the River Gorge, and we stopped at a campsite, and I was doing a video. What's up? Following Walker's World. Nice seeing you guys on here. We went out to the River Gorge, and we made 5 liters of coffee using 6 different coffee apparatus.
Good Lord. How many people was this?
It's just the 2 of us. We didn't drink all of it. I mean, we could have. This is stuff I've been using for the last year, just kind of playing with that on trail, just trying out. Ooh, Colorado Springs, what's going on? It's early for you.
Casey.
Yeah. So we went out there, we made all this coffee. I mean, we made cowboy coffee, we made like pressed coffee, we did mocha pot, bunch of stuff. And dude, it was so much coffee, and we were just we set up. We actually hiked up towards Hanson's Point, that area. What's up, Miyagi? Good to see Miyagi on here, man. That's awesome.
Hey, man.
So we set up right off the trail because we figured everybody's going to hike. We figured we'd hike in the mornings. And so we're up there, and we set up camp, or not set up camp, but set up right by the trail. And we were going to share coffee with people. Not one person hiked by.
Oh, you're going to do a little bit of trail magic.
Yeah, we were going to give free coffee to people. Got a few more people logging on here. What's up, Mustang? What's up, John? Yeah, so we were going to make all this coffee and share it with people. Nobody walked by the trail. It's like one of the most popular spots in the gorge. So we picked it on purpose, and not until we left. When we left is when we saw people.
Boy, that's disappointing.
Yeah, we were just going to bless people with the nectar of the Lord, which is coffee. So,
and where did you say that you were set up at?
We were set up right off the trail up by Hanson's Point. Like we were, if anybody of you have been to Red River Gorge, you've been to Hanson's Point, there's this massive campsite area where you could fit 100 people without blinking. Like just campsites, fire pits all over the place. And we were set up just right off the trail. I mean, we're just maybe 10 feet off the trail, and not a single person came by.
Well, for the 4th of July, I stayed home, saved a little money. But the week before, I actually flew to Colorado and drove up to South Dakota.
How was that, man?
It was pretty crazy. Miyagi, he's on here, I think still. He commented a few minutes ago. Hey, Jeremy. What's up, man? Well, long story short,
I like the pause.
I just got my truck back Friday, as in like a few days ago.
Yeah.
And I've been without it for like 9 weeks and basically got the engine rebuilt. And so it all started with Bridget having to drop me off in Lexington so I could ride with Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, up to the Cincinnati airport. Hey, good morning. What's up, Jared? Outside comfort zone. So we rode up to Cincinnati together and flew to Denver because it was going to cost so much money to fly into Rapid City, which is where we needed to go. And dude, we flew into Denver, got a rental to drive the 6 hours, and then on the way to the rental, I started reading the reviews of the rental company that I had booked through. I just went on Expedia, signed up for a car, right? And didn't think anything of it. And then I looked and like they were 2 out of 5 stars. Oh, man.
That's
And
fantastic.
I started reading the reviews and they were absolutely terrible. And I was like, Jason, I hope that we can get this car. And he was like, what's the deal? And I was like, I'm reading the reviews and they don't look good. He's like, all right. So we waited there for like 20 minutes and finally the shuttle came. I stood in line for like 45 minutes. There's literally 3 people in front of me in line, and there's 2 people working the counter up there. And I had to wait for 45 minutes, got the car finally. And they give you this little slip of paper, and it's like, it's got 2 pieces. So one's like your copy, the yellow piece that like imprints, and one is the white copy. It's their copy. And you give it to the gate guy on the way out, and you're supposed to make a list of any of the damages. So I basically just like the car scratched all the pieces. Like it was a Jeep Renegade. And
That's awesome.
I've never had this happen before with a rental car. It had 100,000 miles on it. And usually a rental car, they're pretty new. You know, they trade
They
them
usually go 50 or less. Yeah.
100,000 miles, a Jeep Renegade. I got a midsize. They kept trying to get me to upgrade. And I was like, no, gas is like $5 a gallon. And you're wanting me to go to a large vehicle instead of a midsize. I was like, I got to drive 6 hours. Well, we got it. We gave the guy, put like scratches all around it. There was a vent on the bumper that was broken in half. Like they were cleaning the cars as people were turning them in and then turning around and renting them out. Like people were having to wait, even though they had already paid and everything. They were sitting in the lobby for like an hour waiting on them to get a car cleaned and vacuumed so that they could give them the key so they could leave.
Wow.
Terrible renting experience. We drove the 6 hours. And dude, I don't know if the tie rods were about to go out or something to do with the power steering. Every time you turned it, you could hear it. It's like, and then it was kind of vibrating at anything over 65.
How much did you pay? Can I ask? Like, what was your daily rate for this thing?
Well, was this before or after I got more charges once I arrived home? Yeah, I was on the phone with them yesterday for an hour. You know,
What?
it's like a week and a half since I turned the car back in. Yep. They charged me
wow.
they charged me an additional well, initially it was $187 and some change, or excuse me, 287, even though Jason and I split it, right? So the rental is probably like $100 a day or something like that.
Okay.
And we rented it for 5 or 6 days because we had to backpack and then return it. So it just sat there in the parking lot. We didn't even use it after the drive.
Right.
And I called them because I was like, what are these extra charges? You know, after all said and done, it was 137 and some change that they charged me in addition to what I'd already paid through Expedia. And they're like, well, that was for your prepaid gas. They were like, you should have returned it on empty because you prepaid gas and you paid for a toll, like some kind of toll pass. So when you drive through Denver, like you have unlimited tolls. You don't have to worry about them. And that was like 60 or 70 bucks. And I was like, I'm not even going to Denver. Like I'm going to Mount Rushmore. So like I'm driving through the middle of Wyoming all day. And so anyway, they refunded like $75 of that. And they're like, we can't refund the gas. And I was like, I'll pay for the gas. I returned it with like half a tank of gas, but still $60 for half a tank of gas. Ridiculous. So
we have a question online real quick.
Sure.
Jeff Peters is like, why the morning live stream trying to cut down on chat comments? No, actually it's It's we do a lot of stuff on Monday nights in the summer, and there's just no time to do nighttime ones. And this was just I think we decided to do this yesterday, right?
Yeah, I think basically we were wanting to talk to each other, and we said, well, wouldn't it be fun to just do a live stream instead of publishing the episode Wednesday morning? We could live stream, and
Yeah.
we'll throw it out a little later.
Yeah. So there's the easy answer for you. We just we can't do the Monday nights right now just because we're both really busy. Of course, this Monday was the 4th of July, so my wife would have killed me if we had a bunch of people over for 4th of July and I was doing a live stream. So I didn't want to get in trouble. Miyagi said he had a great time with you, man.
Dude.
You guys, okay, can we talk about something about this trip?
Yes.
And it's specifically you and Miyagi. I want to talk facial hair.
Oh,
tell us
Lord.
what was going on with facial hair with you guys on this trip.
Well, if you remember, Buckley and I kind of decided on this trip, this was months ago. It was going to be, I was like, dude, please shave your beard. And he's like, I can't go without any facial hair. I've had facial hair for like, I don't know, 30 years or something crazy. And I was like, okay. He's like, but I will settle. I will do a mustache. And so apparently this is supposed to be a mustache trip.
Can I say something real quick to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at your pictures and I see some dude with a big bushy mustache. And I actually thought to myself, who's the old guy with them? it's just now dawning on me. That was Buckley, dude. That's hilarious. That is so funny.
He looks totally different with just the stash.
Yeah. That's an understatement. That is an understatement.
I didn't know how serious to take it, right? And I totally forgotten. And then Buckley, backpacking with Buckley's his YouTube. And so Tim, which is Buckley, he says, he texted me like the night before. Look at that. Tim now looks like a 70s porn star with the stash. You're not wrong.
I want to say he's wrong, but he's not at all.
So he texts me like the night before or the day of, and my flight doesn't leave till like 3 p.m. or something. So I have time. I decide I'm going to take some trimmers with me. And look what Miyagi said. I've decided that I'm keeping the Tony Stark. So I'll get to what he's
I need to see pictures of the Tony Stark. That's all I got to say. I need to see pictures of that.
Dude, there'll be full videos of this. So let me tell you what happened. So Bridget had bought me these trimmers for Christmas, and they're small. They're made by Manscaped. And I was like, I'll just take those with me. And wait a second,
Manscaped. Aren't those the ones you're supposed to use on your nether regions?
Yeah, you can use them anywhere.
And you use it on your face?
Well, not only did I use it on my face, I used it on Miyagi's face.
Have you used it on your nether regions?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Oh, that's just wrong.
But I would comment if Manscaped sponsored us because they are quality products. Bridget got them for me for Christmas.
Oh, dude. Yeah. See, there's this awful thing I'm thinking about right now that you did to your friends.
Oh, there's more. So I throw them in my carry-on, right? And then the next day, I get to the trailhead and I still have a full beard, like 3 weeks worth of growth, maybe.
Yeah.
And Miyagi's there. Actually, there's no cell phone service out there. So once we got to this lake in the middle of nowhere, South Dakota, we had to drive around and find everybody. And we found them and we started talking. And Buckley walks up and he has this giant mustache. And Miyagi and I both have full beards. Jason, he's rocking about a week's worth of stubble. And I'm trying to get him on board because what we kind of decided to do is Miyagi and I take turns. We take turns each night doing a different facial hair on each other. Now, I thought we were going to do our own. And I told Miyagi I would be on board if he is willing to carry out the trimmers. Because his backpack weighs like 10 pounds or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like 30 pounds.
But yet he's got an entire cook kit with like an iron skillet, and he's got I honestly think Miyagi practices magic.
Dude, I don't understand it.
The dark arts.
Well,
it's like I went with him to Pictured Rocks last year and I picked up his pack and it was stupid light. Yet this guy comes out and makes like these trail pizzas with naan bread, and like He does all this stuff, and it's just like,
It's
how
voodoo.
does that? How do you do this with that light of a pack? I mean, the guy's got so much stuff. I'm telling you, he practices the dark arts.
Dude, what I don't understand is how his backpack is so light, and then, like, you get to camp, and he's just pulling out all of these luxury items.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He practices the dark arts. He's a wizard.
Well,
He is.
I agree reluctantly to this plan of each night picking a different facial hairstyle. Now, remember, we're gonna spend 3 nights in the woods. Yeah, wizardry, that's exactly right, Miyagi.
It is. It is.
So, we hike in, and the first night, he shaves me up into this ridiculous I was like, "You know what I look like? I look like one of those people, one of those carnies that set up that
A
help set up
carny.
yeah, like, that helped set up the county fair. No offense, carnies. Yeah, I'm sure there's some great ones out there. But at my local rural Kentucky fair, the county fair, look, Miyagi says my backpack is like Armani's purse. You're not wrong. So, he shaves this up, and it looks like one of the worst carnies, and they started calling me corn dog. Look, they started calling me corn dog, and I look just like one, man. Like one of the carnies that is like dealing meth and is stealing at Walmart at your local county fair and helping set up the rides, and they have this ridiculous facial hair.
Mhm.
Well, I shave Miyagi and I make him look cool, dude. He looks like a biker. I shave all the gray that goes down the sides from his sideburns down to like where his facial hair starts on his chin. I leave his goatee and everything because I want a little something, something to work with the next couple of nights.
Right.
Well, Jason starts working on Miyagi. And when I say working on him, I mean meets privately and comes up with a plan to give me some terrible facial hair because the next day we're going to Mount Rushmore. So it's okay on trail. It's okay on trail because you don't see anybody. So the next day I had to wear this ridiculous carnival facial hair around Mount Rushmore. And I realized as I'm taking my pictures in front of Mount Rushmore, which I've never seen before in my entire life, that forever I'm going to be marked in these pictures by what Miyagi has done to me. So, so Jason starts working on him.
This is great. This is absolutely great.
He tells him, he's like, dude, you need to shave half his face and make him wear that the next day. Just do half, and then you can finish it the next night. And then he tells me the same thing, and neither Miyagi nor myself know that that's what he's trying to plan.
He's trying to get you both to get each other.
Yes, and I keep going second because I know as long as I go second, I can retaliate. So with Miyagi, he shaves half my face, and I'm like, I'm not doing it, man. And Jason is just dying, right? He shaves half my face, and then it's my turn. And I'm like, I'm not wearing this the next day because he literally has shaved everything over, except I still have this ridiculous stuff going on one side. And then the other side is like just a mustache, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, dude, I'm physically going to take those trimmers and finish this myself if you don't finish it up. So he leaves me with a good looking stash, right?
Yeah.
And I trim him up and I leave him with what I think looks awesome. And then we,
So is that why he said he's decided to keep the Tony Stark? Is that what you did?
No, that was the last night.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That was the last night. So, the next night he decides since he's messed up and has only left me with a mustache, which is what he's supposed to do for the last day, he decides to do me a pencil mustache because I wouldn't let him do the Hitler. I just completely refused.
Good call. That's a really good call. I mean, in today's landscape, that's probably a very good call.
Yeah, this climate. Yes, I decided not to do the Hitler stuff.
Very good call.
Or if I was forced to, as I was gonna call it, the Charlie Chaplin.
There you
Not
go.
so
You should have just cut off. You should have just shaved the middle and left the ends, and then you
the
could have been Genghis Khan.
could have done the reverse step there.
You've been Genghis Khan instead.
Well, he he shaved the pencil mustache, and I wore that for the last day. But I have to say, Buckley and Miyagi with the full stash, like Miyagi's stash looked awesome, dude. And they both look like they're straight out of Super Troopers. It looked great.
Well, it makes sense considering we know what Miyagi does for a living. So I mean that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, he was definitely pulling it off, man. I don't know if it's the years or if it's talent or just genetics, but their mustache is about 100 times better than mine. Like Tanya says, "Hey fellas, I'm at work and can't stay. Have to catch up later." Hey, it's good to see you, Tanya.
We'll see you, Tanya. Have a great day.
Fu Man. So Jeff asked about the Fu Manchu. So I don't know. I did it on Miyagi. Actually, the last night we had to do this the last morning. Actually, the last night we watched the sunset, and whenever it was time, we're in the middle of nowhere on top of this mountain with an absolutely gorgeous view overlooking some tiny town with a rodeo going on. We could actually hear it half the night.
Right.
Down in the valley below us on top of this mountain, around Mount Rushmore on the other side of it. And hey, good morning.
What's
Morning,
up, Brad?
So we had to actually shave it the next morning, and I tried several different styles on Miyagi because if you have a full beard and you're trimming up and you're going to shave it all anyway, you might as well have a little fun. So maybe start off with some mutton chops and then do a goatee and then maybe a Fu Manchu. I gave Miyagi a goatee and a mustache, but then I shaved in like an arrow into the bottom part of it and let him wear that for a day.
That's awesome. And Miyagi grows great facial hair too. He's one of those guys. I think Buckley is too. Buckley's one of those guys. He has good facial hair. I wish I could. I don't grow any hair right here or on these two corners right here.
Well, they grow it in full. And
yeah, they do.
When I went to shave Miyagi the next day, like his beard had already regrown back out. So, I had to reshave what I'd already shaved. In addition,
so much testosterone going through Miyagi, he grows a full beard in one day.
It's pumping through the veins, dude. By the time you get done shaving, he's already got 5 o'clock shadow again.
It's those shorty shorts.
Yeah, and I think I was rocking pretty short shorts on this trip too. I actually decided on this trip, I knew it was going to be hot, right? Mm-hmm. So I decided to just wear a pair of ball shorts, no underwear, and it was absolutely amazing. I gotta say, I will probably do it again every time. Even though I rarely go hiking in the summer, it's so hot. I would probably do it each time.
Well, I use the running shorts, and they've got that liner in them. That's all summer. Every summer.
What actually on the last trip, I used running shorts with the liner, but after like 4 days, the liner, maybe I bought the wrong size shorts, but it felt like it's starting to cut into my legs.
Ew, I've never had that. That's awful.
Yeah, it's probably just the wrong size shorts. Maybe I put on a little weight. Who knows?
Apparently, you missed your calling as a barber, and according to Miyagi, you got some mad skills.
Well, I've had several years of practice on my own face, but I don't know if I'd exactly call it missing my calling because Miyagi, he definitely looked better than me. He sucks as a barber.
So he's a wizard with pack weight, but he's horrible as a barber.
He needs to stick to making the gear and not to the barber shop because, well, also he's trying to make me look ridiculous on purpose. So I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's got skills with that.
Dude, we got up to Mount Rushmore and we didn't know really what to expect because I'd never been there. And we kept hearing, oh, they got burgers up there. They got burgers up there. And we got up there and they had it was weird. They made you put a mask on to go inside at this lady, they had a gift shop and they had like a full restaurant. And I went over to the gift shop. They wouldn't let you go into the restaurant without a mask. And we were eating outside. And I went over and asked the lady at the gift shop. She was handing out masks. And I was like, can I get like a few masks? And then there were people in line behind me, right? This whole group of people. Mount Rushmore, they get so many tourists. We were tourists too. There's a ton of people standing behind me wanting to go into the gift shop. And they have it roped off. So I stood in line to get the mask. And then you go in the gift shop and out the door, literally like, here's the door, here's the exit. You go whoop, right around. And I got the mask. And then she like put her arm out and stopped me because I was trying to go around the exit because there's all these people in line behind me. She was like, sir, you can't go in there without a mask. And I was like, I'm trying to leave. And she was like, I can't let you go in. I was like, okay. So I went under the rope. We put her mask on and went into the restaurant. And I got a pizza, a burger, fries, a beer, and I think I got some popcorn and some kind of dessert. Oh, ice cream. Yes, ice cream.
Well, I was
So,
gonna say I've had ice cream at Mount Rushmore before.
oh, it was. What did you think of it?
Honestly, Mount Rushmore. Okay, so context.
Mhm.
So I was taking a group of 30 high school kids to Montana. So like 3 full-size 15 passenger vans and a minivan with gear in it.
Bless
Taking
your
these
heart.
kids to Montana. It was the 36-hour drive from Cynthiana, Kentucky. And we stopped at Devil's Tower before we went to Mount Rushmore.
Mhm.
And have you seen Devil's Tower?
I only saw pictures. I only got to see Little Devil's Tower on this trip.
Personally, Devil's Tower was way more impressive to me than Mount Rushmore. And maybe it was because of the touristy feel of the place
Mhm.
with all the like shops and stuff. But our group, we all hiked up the base of Devil's Tower and we just loved it. Like we all thought it was amazing. And we all got to Mount Rushmore and it just kind of felt underwhelming in comparison to us. You know, like that's the way we felt about it. So yeah, I've been to Rushmore, but I wasn't kind of like I probably if I'd have gone there first, I'd have been more impressed. But I think Devil's Tower was just so impressive. It made that look not so great.
Well, I'd love to see Devil's Tower too.
It's
Josh,
awesome. It's awesome.
gonna read Josh's comment.
Yeah, morning live streams are an awesome way to start the day. Have to jump off for work. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks, Josh. Thanks for coming in. So, question for us on here, Jeremiah.
Uh-huh.
Any plans on hiking in a new state you haven't hiked yet?
Well, right now, I don't have I don't think I literally have a single backpacking trip planned for the future. My next to-do list is I'm going to a music festival to meet up with some of my friends from the Long Trail, and I'm literally leaving tomorrow. So as soon as we get done with this, I have to pack all that stuff for like 4 days of camping.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I have is I got a little vacay planned with Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, and our missus. So my wife and his fiance are going, but I don't really have any backpacking stuff planned.
Well, I know you and I have to talk for like 10 minutes after this to see if we can get like a 2 or 3 day thing in before you go back to school.
Yes.
Because we have to do that. I know that's got to happen, and I'm planning on hitting the Foothills Trail. I've not backpacked in South Carolina, so I'm going to be backpacking in South Carolina this fall, which is pretty cool. And then I'm like you. This year was one of those years for me where I didn't get to travel as much. This
Mm.
was more of I'm doing a lot of stuff in the gorge. I'll probably be down in the Big South Fork in a couple weeks, down there for a little bit. But I haven't gotten to travel as much this year as I'd like to, as far as like getting out of state and going to a lot of different places. So
I think
Buckley says he wants to go with us, man.
hey, come on, Buckley.
You can come.
Yeah, hit us up, man. Shoot me a text so we can take care of the details. I was lucky.
Absolutely.
I think Jason posted that like a year ago we were in Vermont and got to meet up with Kyle Hates Hiking, which is
I
on
saw that.
and Justin Sylvester. But I was very blessed this year, man. I got Vermont this time last year, and I got New Hampshire with Justin, and then also like South Dakota and Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama. Did Alabama surprise you like it did me?
Dude, whenever we were there and they called that the land of thousand waterfalls, like that is the biggest understatement I've ever heard. Now we did go after like a week of rain, but
Now you went to the
it
Sipsey,
was
right?
awesome. I went to the Sipsey, yeah.
Yeah. See, I went to Mount Chiaha and hiked
Oh, a
part
lot.
of the was the Pinhoti Trail. I
Mhm.
hiked part of the Pinhoti Trail when I was there, and so for us it was mountains. And I didn't realize there were mountains in Alabama. I don't know why I didn't realize there were mountains in Alabama, but I didn't realize there were mountains in Alabama. So that was really cool.
Yeah, even though the elevation's not that high, you get up even a couple thousand feet and you get a clear view, and that is, in my opinion, just as good as being up several thousand feet. And
Yeah,
it like I don't know, it's almost like if you're in Colorado, you can only see so far, right? So even at 13,000 feet, you can only see so far. So you're gonna get great views either way, but
right.
they're kind of different. The
Yeah.
terrain's different, the view is different. But even here in Kentucky, like hiking the pinnacles in Berea,
I was just gonna say the Pinnacles in Berea is a good example of that.
yeah, you may only be able to see so far, like I don't know, 3 or 4 miles or something, but getting to look out over the bluegrass of Kentucky, seeing the farms, seeing the towns, seeing the fields, it's absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it's I mean, there's just I'm a big fan of mountains. I know like I'm doing the Foothills Trail this year. Next year, we've got a common buddy named Bryce that we're friends with,
Mhm.
and he and I are gonna get a trip together and we're gonna go do Mount Rainier next year. So I'm super excited about that because that's a 14,000 foot mountain, and he's done it like a dozen times or more. And he told me, he goes, "Let's go." So I think we're gonna plan to do that next year. I'm pretty excited about that.
Do you think that Bryce has to train, like, physically for that? Like, do elevation training or, like, stair stepper or that kinda stuff? Or you think that you could just kinda
I know
hop
I will. I'll be training like that. I did that for Kilimanjaro, so I'll definitely be doing it for that too, man. I don't know. I know, like, he said you will have to have, like, micro spikes and stuff like that, and, he said depending on the time of year we go, he said, um, it could be pretty nasty up towards the top.
Oh,
So,
yeah, that elevation any time of year, it can be crazy.
yeah. NK JK, you'll love the FHT this fall. I completed it in early March. Lots of waterfalls and great campsites. Now, when is that Kentucky sub meetup going? What was that, 2 years ago? We
Yeah,
were gonna do that
yeah, right, that was, like
2020, and COVID happened.
I think it was supposed to be sometime around Easter, or it was sometime in the spring, I felt like, because I think I had spring break,
Yeah, it was April.
and so then, like, March, the pandemic happened, right? So,
That's
February,
exactly what happened.
March, they start shutting everything down, and then we couldn't do it. But I've had a few people message me about meeting up and going to trails and stuff, and I tell them that, you and I would still love to have a Kentucky meetup, and that would be a great opportunity for all those people that are wanting to hike together and all that kinda stuff. If you could make that meetup, that would be the perfect, in my opinion, comfortable location to hang out and talk and get to know each other. Because as we've said before multiple times in the past on here, it's always kind of odd, even if it's people from YouTube
Yeah.
that you only just talk to and you know they're not an axe murderer. You still like whenever you show up, you feel each other out and get to know each other, and being a stranger that you literally don't know anything about and don't have anything in common with except for, you make videos and they like them. Um, that's a hard dynamic. So I think the meetup would be a good catalyst for that.
Yeah, I think so too. I know we talked with Jason and we were gonna line it up, I think maybe Coomer Ridge was
Uh,
one of the ideas. Honestly, I think Hanson's would be better because we wouldn't have to pay for anything. So
I'm
just being
okay.
if I'm just being honest, I don't have to pay for anything if we do Hanson's, but yeah, meetup would be great. It'd just be fun to get everybody together and hang out. So yeah, man, Brad, we still talk about it. We just haven't talked about it in a while. So
Yeah.
uh yes, I did see when Bryce had altitude sickness with the Shield brothers. Yeah, that's a different Bryce than the one we're talking about, actually.
Yep, spelled differently. Y
Yeah.
versus I. You see, Ginger Gnome? You say you're dying to see all the views in Ohio? Come on up, Jeremiah. So I
I
will
grew
tell
up
you.
in Ohio.
Uh-huh.
There's not a lot of views in Ohio,
Well, I
to
went
be honest.
to is Zaleski in Ohio?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, I think I said on here before that I went to Zaleski, and you talk about Rushmore underwhelming.
But weren't you also there in like a pseudo ice storm or something?
I It was cold, that's for sure. We had to set up a tarp, build a fire in front of it, me, Jason, and the Shields, and it was drizzly. It was cold.
Wasn't that the trip where you decided I'm never going without a chair again?
Oh, yes, dude, sitting there on the ground with the freaking sit pad under the tarp, trying to find a way to sit against the tree, but also stay dry under the
Yeah.
tarp.
Because I remember us talking about that, and you were just like, I'm taking a chair with me every time from now on.
Yeah, even though my pack, like in the Smokies, my pack was like 31 pounds, and I don't remember what it was, probably like 35 for this South Dakota trip.
Yeah.
Both trips, I still took my little Helinox, and it was well worth it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it was a trip with the Shill brothers for me too, where I decided I will never go without a chair again. I was in Wisconsin, and there were a whole bunch of us there, and I didn't bring a chair, and I thought I was told there were gonna be picnic tables and stuff, and there were none at any of the campsites we went to, and so like I was finding logs to sit on or sitting on the ground, or like when people would get up, I would borrow their chair until they came back.
Oh,
You know,
that's a master move right
yeah,
there.
you got to be sly about that kind of stuff.
I used to
But
do that too. I'm just keeping it warm for you. Don't you want it comfortable when you don't you wanna sit in another man's warmth once you get back?
well, and it was February in Wisconsin, so I mean it was cold.
Yes.
So I'm just doing my part, man. I'm looking out for my friends.
There are 2 instances that I don't take the chair. It's a solo when I have my hammock, unless I'm gonna make a fire, because 'cause I'm not gonna do that next to my hammock,
Yeah,
and, if I am doing, like, a long distance trail, like,
yeah,
100 miles or something,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
I gotta tell you, Miyagi done these little interviews throughout our trip whenever we were in South Dakota, and it was me, Jason, Miyagi. Trips couldn't go. She had, an issue with a bulging disc, if I remember correctly, in
Whoa,
her
that's
neck.
awful.
So, yeah, she was able to do some day hiking, and we got to meet up with her, and she brought us some resupplies. This right here, dude, was the most clutch thing on the trip. It's cortisone cream.
Oh yeah.
Dude, the first campsite, we got eat up with bugs. I mean, eat up. I still am scratching. I was putting it on just a second ago.
Oh, dude. And when you start scratching, you start itching really bad. That's
And
miserable.
you're on trail,
Yeah.
you can't do anything about it, and like I said, I had those shorts, and, like, I was sitting in my chair, and the shorts were hanging down, and so they got, like, right under my butt cheek, like, on my leg, right under my butt cheek,
That's
and
awful.
ate a whole, like, I don't know. It was terrible. So, anyway, Miyagi, Tim,
Mhm.
and so there Tim, he had a lovely lady with him. We actually gave her a trail name. She earned a trail name on this trip. We started calling her Little Donkey Blue.
So
And
that's who everybody's talking about in these comments. Cause like, okay, so I saw this. We're gonna hot tent here this winter Ohio meetup it on Donkey Blues land. I'm like, who is Donkey Blue? I had now I know.
so Little Donkey Blue, I was a little worried because, you know, anytime a lady comes on a trip, sometimes it'll change the dynamic. And I was like, well, she's going to have trips there too. Like whenever we went to the Smokies, I brought my wife, but Melissa, Unlikely Hiker, was there.
Yeah.
And they really connected and they had a
That was a
great.
fun video, by the way. I watched that yesterday.
Oh, well, thank you.
Little cross promotion there for you.
I appreciate that. Yes, I did just publish a Smokies video.
Be sure to
So
subscribe and hit that like button.
that's right. Kick it. So Bridget and Melissa really connected and had a great time and talked. And I was like, okay, Trips and Little Donkey will also have a great time together. But then, they got to camp together the night before, but Tritz wasn't able to go, obviously, for the reasons I just said. But I got to tell you, Lil Donk, she did fantastic and fit right in. Um, she, I knew she was going to fit right in as soon as I met her, and we had a great time. But she was wearing this shirt, this blue shirt, button up like one of the Columbia that has little snap things where you can roll the sleeve up and attach it.
Yeah.
And apparently the name of the shirt was Little Donkey Andy. I never heard of that brand. Little
I've never heard that
Donkey,
in my life.
and everything she was wearing was blue somehow. Her shoes, her shirt, her backpack, her gear, everything was blue. So we start calling her Little Donkey Blue by the end of the trip. Look, Buckley says, Lil Donk is as cool as it gets, dude. You are so right.
That's
It was a
awesome.
blast hiking with her. So she was on this trip too. And I guess is that everybody? There's 6 of us. Buckley, Donk, me, Jason, Miyagi, and Taylor from Southern Hike. How could I forget about Taylor? It was his idea to drive from Denver. And I will say, huge shout out to Southern Hike.
Okay, did he do the late night thing that you were talking about?
What was the late night thing? I can't remember.
He said he was getting in super late and then driving the whole way.
Oh, dude. He flew into Denver, and I think his flight got delayed twice.
Oh,
So
no.
he was leaving at like midnight. So anyway, he got to his Airbnb and stayed there for an hour and a half. He slept for an hour, and then he showered and then left. He even got a message from the person that he was renting the Airbnb from. It was like, "Hey, you were only here for like a couple of hours. Is everything okay? Like, was something wrong?" And he's like, "No, I just didn't have time to stay there. Just basically drove 6 hours on an hour of sleep after flying, and then hiked the whole next day, and we had several thousand feet of elevation gain. It was brutal."
Okay, can I just say I don't do well hiking without sleep, man. I don't. Do you do well with it?
Dude, I got 6 hours of sleep last night, and I'm running on fumes right now. Like I said, we take care of our stuff, then I gotta take a nap.
Well, here we can't go to sleep before midnight because it's the 4th of July weekend and everybody in our neighborhood's letting off fireworks till after midnight. So,
Yeah, the poor dogs, man.
ugh.
PTSD every year this time of year.
My 5-year-old son, like, he loves fireworks.
Uh-huh.
So, and our local fireworks, we actually can just sit in our driveway and watch them. They're like right in front of our house.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
we had a bunch of friends over and we're hanging out, all that kind of
Saw
stuff.
the pictures.
Good morning, Steve.
Hey, good morning.
Um, so yeah, so my son loves the fireworks. He's thinking it's great. Then he goes to bed and they don't stop going off on by the neighbors. And my son looks at me and goes, "Dad, don't they know it's time to stop?" He goes, "I really want them to stop."
Dude, as you know, I live on Lake Cumberland.
Yeah.
And I had this little trip. Following Walker's World says, "Gotta run, guys. Love the morning chat." Hey, it's
See
good
you,
to see
man.
you, Tom. So I went on a little fishing, camping, boating type deal on Saturday night. Got one of my buddies out of the house, and we camped at the lake. I'm talking like 500 feet from where my hammock was, right on the coastline.
Right.
My hammock's there, and then about 20 feet is the water, and this is a big, big lake. And then like another 500 feet from the edge of the water, there's a marina out there full of houseboats and, nice boats. And we're trying to sleep. Of course, we slept pretty late, hanging out, talking around the fire. Dude, there were fireworks going off till like 2 a.m. there on the
Yep.
lake. It's tough.
Yeah, man.
It's like Ginger Gnome says, couldn't have wished for a better crew for the first multi-day hike. Seriously, some of the best humans I've had the pleasure to share memories with. Little Donkey Blue. Oh, I didn't know that was your handle.
I didn't know that either. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So Little Donkey Blue's from Ohio.
Yeah, I think maybe around the Cleveland area, but I might be mistaken on that. So don't
Very
quote.
cool.
Oh, actually, let me run that back. I think around the Youngstown, Ohio area.
Okay, so still northern, northeastern Ohio.
Yeah, it's quite a ways for me. Maybe like 6 or 7 hours for you.
Now, there's this thing about Northeastern Ohio people, and I don't know where she sits in this, but, Northern Ohio is Cleveland Browns fans up there, and it's hardcore, like hardcore. But some people from that northeastern area are Pittsburgh Steeler fans,
Oh,
and it breaks the hearts of all of us Ohio people. So I don't know where she stands or if she even cares. She may not even care. She may be like, "I don't care about football." But I'm just saying,
I think that she could care less about
it
football,
it
but
it it's a thing, man. It's a thing. I'm just saying. It's definitely a thing.
well,
So, okay, so the trip was a success,
yes,
right?
but I have 2 more things to say about it.
Oh, man. This trip just
Well,
never stops. Let's go.
actually 3. The
Okay.
brown
Oh,
orange.
we are friends. We've never met, but we are friends. I promise you. That's awesome. Go
Oh,
Browns.
yeah, you'll love Little Donkey. She's
That's
great.
awesome.
So, Taylor, I was mentioning him from Southern Hike, is his
Yeah.
YouTube. Dude, I booked the hotel room. So he had a flight that was leaving, I think he had to turn his rental car in by like 10 PM the same day that we were driving back to Denver.
Okay.
And so Jason and I weren't flying out till like really early the next morning, 7 or 8 AM. And so I booked us a hotel. He went ahead and left, like booked it from our last good, like, or great view or whatever on the trail, which is Black Elk Peak, the highest.
Yeah, I saw a picture that you posted from there.
It's like a castle, dude. Their fire tower up there is absolutely amazing. So it'll be in the video. So Taylor books it from there. And I'm like, Taylor, you can go ahead and I'll book a hotel and you can shower at my hotel because he was going to baby wipe and then fly home and shower. And I was like, that sounds terrible. After driving for 6 hours,
Well, and those poor people that have to sit around you.
we've been in the woods for 4 or 5 days.
That's awful.
So he he's probably running right now. He said he runs and listens to the podcast.
Well,
So
that's cool.
he's probably running right now. Finish strong, buddy. Finish strong. But a huge shout out to him because we got to I booked the hotel. He showered. He checked in before we got there, hour, 2 hours before.
Yeah.
And Jason and I kind of mosey because we didn't have to be back early. And he texted us when we were about an hour out or so. And he was like, "Hey, what do you guys want for dinner?" And we're like, "We're probably going to get some pizza," because we didn't have time to go out to eat with him.
Yeah.
And dude, he surprised us. Well, it didn't surprise us. We kind of made the order, but he brought in Godfather's Pizza, 2 giant pizzas and breadsticks and ranch, the works.
That's awesome.
Talking double cheese, meat, everything, and had it sitting at the hotel. Like he got there at the same time we did. So we immediately walked in after only having snacks on this 6-hour car ride and ate this amazing pizza. Some of the best pizza I've ever had, probably because
He just got done hiking for 3 or 4 days.
yeah. But we were talking about the chairs a minute ago, and I was saying I always bring the chair, and Miyagi's doing these little interviews, and Buckley and Little Donkey, they're in their interview. I think they both said, Miyagi's like, "What would you have brought that you didn't bring?" And I was like, "I would have brought this cortisone cream because I am itchy." And they're both like, "We would have brought our chairs," because her backpack was like 17 pounds and his was like 19 pounds.
Oh, wow.
They were down there with Miyagi's pack weight. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Jason and I were just lugging around these 30, 35-pound packs.
Well, you've never been ultralight.
No, and don't claim to be, but I give it a try. I give it a try. So
Okay, can I let you know a little something that'll shock you?
yeah, let's hear it.
I'm actually working towards ultralight.
Oh, you getting close?
Yeah, I really am, man.
Was you
So I had a shoulder injury when I was in Honduras a few
Mm.
weeks ago, and I've been in physical therapy since then for my shoulder, and I've realized I'm getting old, and so a lot of people don't know that I'm pushing 50 at this point. I turned 49 later this year, and I'm realizing that my body isn't as nice as it used to be to me, and the lighter the stuff is I carry, the much easier my life is when I'm on trail. So I'm not gonna be like militant ultralight, but I think I'm gonna try and get as ultralight as I can, yet still have some of my things. I'm still taking a chair. Chair's not a negotiable thing for me. So I'm always gonna have that extra pound and a half on my gear. But yeah, dude, I got it pretty light now. I mean, my backpack alone right now weighs 20 ounces.
Dude, that is insane. I wanna have to make some
So
gear upgrades.
yeah, I've been slowly doing it and just not saying a lot about it. But yeah, I'm inching towards ultralight, and it's not for the sake of like bragging. It's just literally because I'm gonna have to get there. It's just I've
Yeah,
got to get
more
there.
necessity.
Yeah, yeah. I want to enjoy what I'm doing more. So and I still want to bring my camera gear. So when I do the hike in September or November, whenever I'm doing the foothills trail,
Mhm.
I want to take my camera gear with me, but I don't want my camera gear to make my pack so heavy that it's miserable. So
Yeah, I think that, if I could if my hammock so I've been taking the Pride of Kentucky, I even took it on this trip to South Dakota.
yeah,
I think that if I go with a little lighter on the hammock, maybe get a, Dyneema tarp, that would help a lot because I think that would shave like 3 pounds off.
yeah. Well, my summer
Ye
setup, I have a quilt that I use now, and the quilt weighs like 10 ounces.
Wow.
It's a Jaxer or not Jaxer better. It's a Loco Libre quilt that I got. I remember telling you about it a while back that I was going to get one from them,
Uh-huh.
and it's a 50-degree quilt. And dude, that thing, seriously, that thing is super light, and it's perfect for Kentucky summer. Like it's real light. It's not too hot. Um, and I don't even use like an underquilt. I told you about this. Like I didn't use an underquilt when I went out last time. I just used my underquilt cover.
Yeah, that underquilt protector by hammock.
Yeah. Yeah, I just used that and made sure I cinched up the ends just to keep drafts from getting into the hammock, and that was it. And that thing weighs a lot less than a quilt.
I
S
think, uh, I think Miyagi used like a half underquilt whenever we were in South Dakota. I think
Yeah.
that helped shed a lot of weight.
Yep.
Um,
I've got a Costco, like, a half quilt kinda thing.
I'm just I you know, you they say you pack your fears, and I'm always afraid of getting cold. So, like, he brought probably like a 50-degree under half underquilt, and I brought a 0-degree underquilt, and I think
Yeah.
that's a big difference between the weights. Like, I think Jason brought a 10-degree under, 10-degree over, because one of the nights, they were forecasting 45 degrees. And so I was like, in the mountains at 7,000 feet, I don't know what that's gonna feel like. 45 degrees in town. Who knows how cold it's gonna be up there?
Right. So how cold did it get?
Not very cold because, like, I woke up me and Jason both woke up at, like, 2 in the morning just shedding light, just drenched in sweat because I had, a 20-something degree top and a 0-degree under.
Oh, man. Yeah, that would get hot real fast.
Yeah.
Hey, give props up to All Things Outdoors. Lost 34 pounds. He said he
Oh,
went up on the weight in his pack 2 pounds, but he's still down 34 pounds of trail weight because he's lost 36 pounds.
yeah.
So, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
He's looking fantastic, dude. I saw the pictures, Jeremy. Keep it
Yeah.
up, dude, and then you and I will get back on the basketball court and play a little one-on-one.
Those Indiana boys can play basketball, man.
Oh, don't count Kentucky out now.
I'm not counting Kentucky out, but those Indiana boys can play some basketball. And what rate was this at? Your UL journey be good YouTube content. I may have to remember that. Go ultralight, take a camera guy. You obviously don't know how much money I don't make on YouTube.
That would be nice.
That would be nice, man. It'd be awesome if I could just have somebody else do all that. But I'd probably feel guilty and still carry a bunch of stuff anyways. So
I'd have to carry my essentials,
yeah,
but
absolutely.
I wouldn't be angry if I had a camera guy following me around, like the whole Bear Grylls crew.
Well, even Becker, man, Dan Becker's got a camera guy, that goes with him on his stuff. I mean, it's his editor guy, and he still films stuff, but he's got a guy that does a lot of video for him.
Yeah,
So,
brings a
but
whole
but
different dynamic.
but Dan's channel and my channel are not things we compare. Like,
We can compare them, but he's got a pretty big
that's a good way. We can compare them.
he's got a pretty big view rate there.
Yeah, it's a little
So,
different. A little different there.
yeah.
Dan's channel's fantastic. So, um,
You ready for
anyways,
my last thing on the Rushmore?
yeah, we got 3.5 minutes. Let's hear this.
Okay. You're saying now in comparison, in your defense, in comparison to Devil's Tower, which is absolutely amazing,
Yes.
according to the pictures that I've seen in the past,
Yeah.
that Rushmore was a little underwhelming, and I think what made it so great in my eyes, because I'll have to 100% disagree that it was underwhelming for me,
Right. That's fine. Yeah.
because one, I didn't get to see Devil's Tower because we were driving from Denver, so I didn't really have time. But two, I think it's different driving up there versus having to walk multiple days through the backcountry, because I'm constantly seeing, like, from the time we stepped out of the vehicle at Sylvan Lake or whatever it's called where we parked to getting to Rushmore, there were views upon views of just incredible rock features
Yeah.
everywhere. It was amazing, man. I've never seen anything before like it before in my life. And then I got to see, like, what it naturally looks like, and then out of nowhere, you get to your first view of it. You walk around this tree, and you come out to this, little bald, and you get to the vista, and you see just, like, George Washington's face just popping out of the
Yeah.
mountains. You're like, "Whoa," and, it's, like, 2 or 3 miles off in the distance. And you're like, "Look at that. I know what this is supposed to look like." It's supposed to be all these rock features, and then there's this huge, like, bust of our first president, and so
Well,
then
and you also were seeing it. You weren't seeing it from the touristy side when you first saw it.
no, you're seeing, like, "Hey, I'm surrounded by woods."
Yeah. I think that would have made a huge difference for me.
Yeah, and then you walk closer and closer, and you get a better and better view, and, you have to camp at night, and you get up the next maybe the next day, and you get to go look at it, and even though there is a lot of tourism, like, they got a huge parking situation. They got shops up there.
Yeah.
It's all concrete and stone and an amphitheater, and it's super touristy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, seeing what the rocks should look like, and then even backpacking around to the other side and seeing all the helicopters that just keep going and going and going and going on all these tours, and you seeing the backside of Rushmore and what it should have looked like before, and then thinking about what those guys did
Yeah.
it was breathtaking for me, but I had a totally different experience than what you had on your journey.
Well, and I think that's why, for me when I went and saw Devil's Tower, there's not all the touristy stuff around it. It's like a national park vibe, And so you get out there and it's nature and this giant massive rock sitting out in the middle of nowhere that looks like it's been clawed up by a bear. I mean, literally, it looks like the whole story behind it. And when I get to Mount Rushmore, it's like we pull in a parking lot, we walk, there's people everywhere.
Everywhere.
And you've got this long walk out to where you can view it, and it feels small. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, I think if I would have been able to hike up near it,
Uh-huh.
it would have felt massive and I probably would have been impressed. But this was long before I started backpacking. This was like 2002 when I saw it.
Uh-huh.
So this is like,
Yeah, that's
I don't
20
know, there's several years before I got started backpacking. And so, like, I just I never even imagined back then that you could actually hike on trails out near it, and be able to see it differently than from the touristy end. But the touristy end just kind of like ruined it for me, I think.
Yeah, on those trails, I was really wishing that I had a horse. I mean, that they're all horse trails, and I was like, "Whew, this whole camping and hiking thing would be a lot easier if this giant horse was carrying me and all the weight every time
Yeah.
people would pass on the horses."
How
Uh,
bad were the trails from the horses?
they
Were they
weren't beat
tore
up.
up?
They weren't beat up too bad. There's a few spots, but it wasn't like here in Kentucky. Like some of the horse trails here, I feel like
Shelter
they're
trace.
I don't know if it's where they don't do maintenance in those areas as often, or the horses, there's just so much traffic that it beats them up so bad, like your
Yeah.
feet are sinking in, and I don't know. It's hard
Well,
to describe, but it looked like they done a pretty good job maintaining the trails up there.
that's awesome. Well, I mean, it's like the horse trail, the Sheltoy trace. They get tore up by dirt bikes, things like that, recreational vehicles.
Mhm.
I mean, when I hiked the Sheltoy Trace down in the from the southern end up,
Mhm.
at one point we had a Jeep and another SUV drive by across the trail.
Yeah,
You know,
you get Jeeps, SUVs, side by sides, dirt bikes, foot traffic, and
and
you get
some of
horse.
that trail gets tore up. I mean, it can make for some of it, not all of it. I mean, I don't want to say all of it, but there's just sections. I remember the hiking was miserable because just trying, there would be like these sections you would walk, and if it had been raining and it's muddy, you're basically trying to walk on these sides of this trail because the trail itself is dug out so deep that you've got like mini ponds where like you see tire tread going down into it,
Uh,
and it can make for some not fun hiking sometimes.
yeah, I think that pretty much all the trail that we were on was all horse. It was all horse trail. See you, Buck.
Yeah. See you, Buckley.
But I was actually really thankful that it was graded for horses because there were plenty of switchbacks. Even the like 2,000-foot climbs weren't horrendous because horses have to do it. So you can't make it so treacherous and rugged that a horse
Right.
can climb it. But I got to tell you, there was a couple of it's like it's almost like platforms, and then there's logs, and then there's like a 3-foot drop, and then another platform with big logs. And I was like, these are tough. Like the people coming up this on a horse, that'd be pretty tough, and it's especially tough on foot. But other than that,
Well,
very,
I've
very
heard
cool.
they say there's a huge difference between hiking in the East and hiking in the West in the US. Like hiking in the East, a lot of the trails just go up. Like you said on the long trail, there weren't switchbacks. You just went up a mountain.
Yeah,
And they say out west, there's a lot more of the switchbacks and the gradual climbs, especially Colorado. Apparently, I haven't had a chance to backpack in Colorado yet, but that's like one of my ones I want to hit up next. So, but I've heard they just do a better job of giving you more of a gradual climb. You'll be still climbing the same amount of feet, but it just feels more gradual.
yeah, the switchbacks are everything. If
Yeah.
you got switchbacks, even though you might hike twice as far, it's going to be 20% easier or
Oh
something.
yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I was happy.
Definitely. Well, Jeremiah, we are at the hour and 4 minute mark right now.
Hell,
And it has been a joy talking to you as always. And I now I got to go to South Dakota. You just ruined me. Now I have to go to South Dakota and go backpacking. Just added another trip to my list, man. So anything else you want to say before we get off of here?
Um, maybe next week I'll tell you a little bit about how it was getting to meet up with my long trail friends and how much fun we had at the music festival.
I
3
would like to hear that.
It's like it's kind of like one of those giant music festivals out west, but it's in the middle of the woods in Michigan. So
And maybe I could tell you a little bit about my new fitness journey at the next in the next one.
sounds like a date.
I
Let's
think
do it.
I think we're gonna make it happen, bro. Hey, thanks to everybody who tuned in today. Some of you out on the West Coast, you're literally starting your morning off with us. And for those of you who are here, you're probably like cheating on work and watching us while you're supposed to be doing things. We appreciate every single one of you guys. So until next time, we will catch you on the next go around.
Adios, folks.